Hello everyone and welcome to Old Coin TV channel. If you love exploring the world of coins, their history, value, and rare discoveries, you've come to the right place. Here, we'll share exciting information about coins from around the world, from ancient treasures to modern currency. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced collector, our channel is the perfect place to grow your knowledge and passion for numismatics. So, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell icon to never miss our latest videos. The story of the Canadian 1-cent coin from 1952 to 2002 is not just a timeline of small copper pieces, it is actually a long narrative that reflects Canada's cultural evolution, the transition of monarchs, the development of its national identity, the changing metal compositions, and the deep economic forces that shaped the nation during the second half of the 20th century. This period of 50 years is unique because it covers one of the longest and most stable eras of Canadian coinage, the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, whose youthful portrait first appeared on the cent in 1953 and remained, in various redesigned forms, until the early 21st century. To understand the cent of this era, one must begin with the historic moment of 1952, the year when King George VI passed away and his daughter, Elizabeth, ascended the throne. Canada, being a realm of the Commonwealth, updated all its coinage to reflect the new monarch, which is why the 1-cent coins of this period are strongly associated with Queen Elizabeth II's portrait. However, the transition did not happen instantly on the coin. The first coins with her likeness appeared in 1953, but collectors often include 1952-2002 as an era because the monarch's reign started in 1952 and the 1-cent design remained essentially consistent throughout these 5 decades. In the earliest years, the cent coin still followed the classic maple leaf twig design, created by G.E. Kruger Gray in 1937, featuring 2 maple leaves joined to a stem, one of Canada's strongest national symbols. This design remained unchanged from 1937 to 2012, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in Canadian history. But the portrait of the Queen changed several times. The first portrait 1953-1964 showed a very young Queen Elizabeth II wearing a laurel wreath, created by Mary Gillick. This version is notable because the earliest 1953 cents were struck with no shoulder fold, which caused controversy and visibility problems in the portrait. The Royal Canadian Mint corrected this with the shoulder fold variety. These technical minting issues are important because they show how even small coins reflect the complexities of national minting processes. Through the 1950s and early 1960s, the 1-cent coin was still economically important because cash transactions used many pennies due to the low price of daily household items at that time. From 1965 to 1979, the cent displayed the second portrait of the Queen, designed by Arnold Machen. This depiction showed her wearing the tiara, a symbol of royal maturity and elegance. This period also marks the beginning of Canada's modernization, and the cent played a role in everyday life. Vending machines, bus fares, postage, groceries, and small retail transactions heavily relied on it. During this era, copper was becoming more expensive, yet the cent remained a mostly copper-based coin. The metal composition, however, slowly started changing. Originally, cents were made of 98% copper, allowing them to have a reddish, attractive appearance. But the global copper prices fluctuated, and Canada needed to adjust the coin's composition to reduce costs for the Royal Canadian Mint. Then came the 1980-1981 transition, a critical moment in cent history. Because copper prices soared, Canada shifted to a bronze alloy of copper, tin, and zinc, and eventually in 1997, moved again to a copper-plated zinc composition, significantly lowering production costs. These changes highlight how the smallest denomination coin is always the first to reflect global commodity market pressures. During this time, the design remained consistent, but the mint mark, P, occasionally appeared in the late 1990s and early 2000s indicating plated steel or test compositions. From 1990 to 2002, the 1-cent showcased the fourth portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by Dora de Pettery Hunt, the first Canadian artist to design a royal portrait used on Canadian currency. This era is deeply meaningful because it symbolizes Canada's cultural confidence and maturity. The portrait shows the Queen in a dignified, realistic style, reflecting a more contemporary monarchy. By the late 1990s and early 2000s, however, the penny was becoming economically obsolete. Inflation had eroded its purchasing power so deeply that the cent no longer functioned efficiently in the modern economy. Each penny cost more than 1 cent to manufacture, an important economic contradiction. Yet, during 1952–2002, millions of cents continued to circulate, showing how cultural tradition can persist even when economic logic begins to fade. The years approaching 2002 were important because they marked the Golden Jubilee of Queen Elizabeth II, 50 years on the throne. Many special commemorative coins were issued in 2002, though the 1 cent maintained its traditional design. This year symbolically closes the long chapter of the cent's historic run before discontinuation plans began forming in the late 2000s. Although the cent was not officially abolished until 2012, the seeds of its end were planted during the early 2000s, when economists, retailers, and government panels debated the practicality of continuing such a low-value coin. In summary, the Canada 1 cent 1952–2002 is not merely a token for small transactions, it is a representation of half a century of Canadian identity, economy, monarchy, and minting technology. Every era of this coin tells a story: the fresh rise of a young queen, the economic pressures of global metal markets, the modernization of Canada's culture, the shift toward domestic artistic representation, and the decline of the coin's practical value. The maple leaf, Canada's symbol of unity and growth, remained unchanged on the reverse for decades, showing that while portraits, metals, and economic realities evolved, national symbolism stayed strong. This long period forms one of the richest and most historically layered chapters in Canadian numismatic history.